and gentlemen, the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns have agreed to a trade, essentially getting Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks, as well as a 10th overall pick and 5 second-round picks as well. And they're letting go of, obviously, Kevin Durant. Now, in this video, I wanted to break down how this trade is going to affect the Phoenix Suns going into next season and why I think that this could potentially be a really good thing for them to do. Obviously, their starting lineup looks like Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, Ryan Dunn, Nick Richards, and there'll probably be a lot more changes from there. Before we dive into this video and I break down the additions of Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks, do me a big time favor, guys. Comment down below a letter grade for this trade from the Phoenix Suns standpoint. Do you think this was a good trade or a bad trade? Obviously, they put all their eggs in one basket. Kevin Durant, would he fit? Would he not fit? Did not fit. Didn't work out. Bradley Beal, maybe potentially coming off the bench. Let me know what you guys think about the roster. Let's dive into the video. Alright, now when it comes to the Phoenix Suns, I think there were a couple of really big problems. First of all, the versatility offensively was good, but there was no depth behind it. If one or two guys were struggling, the team was not succeeding, okay? I think that trade helps them out a little bit in terms of that. Two, more importantly, the defense was all out of whack, and I don't think their defense got any better, at least yet. Jalen Green, not known as a great defender. Yes, you add Dillon Brooks, who is a good defender and will help you out. You have Ryan Dunn, who is a good defender, so the wing position looks really good. But these numbers need to change right here. Number 23 in the NBA in points allowed per game. Number 26 in the NBA in fast break points allowed per game. I mean, that is terrible. 27th in assists to turnover ratio for opposing teams. So again, not good. And you go down the list, there is barely anything outside, or inside I should say, of the top 15. Barely anything. I mean, well, the only thing here is free throw to field goals attempted, but that's it. There is nothing good. First quarter they were mid, second quarters they were alright, and then third and fourth quarter offensively they were just not good. So the defense needed to be better, and I do think they're starting to make some changes, but I do think there's a lot more that needs to be done. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice when you put on the tape, when you watch the film of Jalen Green, you can utilize him in a bunch of different ways, especially offensively, right? Now, one area that the Rockets love to do was set these little ghost screens. Essentially, what that means, what is a ghost screen? We're going to touch the backside of that defender. We're going to tell him that we're there, and usually when we set these screens, right, this guy's going to rotate over, that way he can be there when he comes off. But what we do is we wait for Colin Sexton to make his decision. He overcommits to that screen, and now we're just going to scream downhill, okay? Now, the thing is, when Jalen Green gets that leverage, and essentially what I like to call and what everyone calls in the NBA, jail, right? You put this defender in jail, where now he's stuck behind Jalen Green. There's nothing he can do, and now we get a matchup down low. Jalen Green is going to welcome contact, and he's going to drive into the lane and not care who you are. Throws it down. Athletic freak of nature, okay? Now, coming into Phoenix, they needed someone like this. Someone that is explosive off the dribble. You have Devin Booker, who can shoot the ball from anywhere, right? Stop on a dime, create his own shots. But now that you have Jalen Green, an athletic freak, I do believe that this will help the offensive rhythm a lot more. Okay, he's also very good versus mismatches. Right here, you see him versus Chet. He gets an isolation, step back, three, gets it to go. So again, here in Phoenix, you have Devin Booker, who's going to create some double teams. You have Bradley Beal, who can create double teams. I do think that Jalen Green will find himself in a lot of mismatch opportunities, which is a good thing. Great shot there by Jalen Green. One more play. So assume this is Nick Richards. We set that high screen. Again, we want to come off this thing fast. Now, when you set a screen with the big man, you know that you're going to have a big man in a drop zone coverage most likely, right? So that's exactly what we see here as Jalen Green screams off that screen. We drive into the lane. Look at his in and out ability, that quickness, that ability to separate down low, and then look at the quickness of that shot. Get it up and over. Get it to go. Again, do like Jalen Green's game a lot. I think he needs to find a sense of consistency a little bit more. But when it comes to the overall player type, I think he could fit into this offense really well. However, defensively, again, not the greatest player in the world. And before we get any further into the video and maybe even talk a little bit about DB, Dillon Brooks, do me a big time favor, guys. Hit that like button if you want more Phoenix Suns updates. But most importantly, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you are new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family. And we will be covering this Suns team throughout the entirety of the offseason. Now, what does that include? What does that mean? Well, the draft is basically in a couple of days. We're going to cover the entirety of the draft. Every draft pick, we got you guys covered with a little bit of some analysis. But also, we can talk all day about free agency. Okay, we're going to be covering free agency. Everybody this Suns team adds, we got you guys covered with some film analysis. And then lastly, during next year's season, we're going to be breaking down film from games as well. So join the family. Let's dive back into the video and maybe talk a little bit more about Dillon Brooks. Now, here's a really good play. All right, and I want to break down Dillon Brooks. Now, he's not the most consistent guy in the world, but what he does add is a lot of defensive prowess, a lot of offensive versatility, and can be your 3-and-D guy. The good news is they're not going to ask him to be their go-to guy. You have Devin Booker, you have Jalen Green, and you have Bradley Beal, which ultimately I think are going to do a great job helping Dillon Brooks get open opportunities. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, so right here, you see Jalen Green drive in. We're going to see the defense get into a rotation. What does that mean specifically? Well, since we have leverage over Buddy Hield, you're going to see Kevon Looney step up on Jalen Green, which forces this defender to go pick up that dunker spot in Alpi, which opens up this corner. So first of all, great job by Jalen Green driving, creating rotation, and then finding the open man, right? So boom, boom, boom. Okay, so essentially, we drive, we draw two, we kick to the corner, we create more rotation, and then Dillon Brooks wide open at the top of the key for a standalone three. Drains it. Great job. And I think this will be a very similar case to what the Phoenix Suns will be able to do, right? Let's say Devin Booker drives, kicks it out to Ryan Dunn in the corner off rotation, and then finds Dillon Brooks wide open for three, or you can see Jalen Green, right? Whatever it may be, I do think that the 3-and-D ability of Dillon Brooks will ultimately help the overall offense and defense of the Phoenix Suns going into this year, and obviously adds more depth to their unit as well. Okay, once again, Jalen Green drives into the lane. We had a fake screen to the left. We didn't use it. We're driving right. All we're doing is creating a blender of the defense, trying to create rotation as we drive. We kick it to Amen Thompson in the corner. And then again, you're going to see Dillon Brooks clear out the lane very, very well. So as Amen Thompson drives baseline, we're creating rotation here by pretty much the entirety of the team. Everyone's ball watching. When you're ball watching, you're obviously not doing your job covering your man. Great slot cut there by Alpi. They kick out to Brooks. Stop and pop three. Easy money. Again, I like Dillon Brooks, especially for the Suns team. I think he'll help out. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? You get number 10 overall pick, you get 5 second-round picks, and then Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks. Do you think the Phoenix Suns will be better or worse than they were last year? Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.